Call the meeting of the Berlin Township Trustees to order. Now please rise and join me in the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please call the roll.
Trustee Bull.
Here.
Trustee O'Brien.
Here.
Trustee Braille.
Here,
We know that you're done.
we don't know, we confirm.
Okay, this is the roofing claim
Yes,
for the township hall.
yes.
And I believe, who has that?
I actually have, Peak Roofing here to talk with us and talk through. John
Milo.
Mr. John Milo, so, I got in contact with him pretty early on. He's been doing a lot of work around here. One of the companies that has been able to address, the needs of our citizens rather quickly. And, his quote is at $38,000, and then in addition to that, or minus that, would be any additional insulation, board replacements once they tear it up. And he also saw that the fascia was destroyed, and so he could replace that for no more than a couple $100. So depending on our insulation costs and our board replacements, that would be in addition to the 38. And the really excellent news is that he's got about 12, 13 guys he can have out here on Saturday, definitely, maybe even Friday. So we can have a rather quick turnaround compared to particularly some of our other folks that we were vetting. So, John, did you want to describe anything more in more detail than I?
Only question I had, which it would help if I looked at the report too, is so you have about 6 to 8 big vents, power vents on the top of the roof. That's to pull hot air out. You won't really need those again unless you want them again. Because I took pictures around the building, you have soffits. As long as the soffit intake is good enough, I would just put a continuous ridge across the entire building.
So you're gonna cut it at the top.
Yeah. Or I could put those back on, that would probably be a less efficient
Do we
way
have
to
the
do it.
vents underneath over in the soffits?
I'm sorry, say
Do
again.
we have the vents in the
It
soffits?
looks like you have vents around the entire building. The only place that had solid soffits is that, and I get confused with my directions, that side of the building that has a solid soffit, but that almost is inconsequential because the entire perimeter has vented.
Okay, so it's just down this way, it's solid, it's
Just that one area, so.
not across the end.
No, yeah, so you have enough coming in. If you have enough coming in through the soffit, the ridge will get it all out. So you won't really need those big power vents that turn on when it gets too hot. You won't really need those.
Can you tell how many of those power vents are working?
I would have to get up there and see. Do you know how many are working? When they turn on, do you hear them?
I don't.
When
I've
it
never-
gets too hot, have you ever heard them on?
No, there's quite a bit of insulation and stuff, so we may not hear them.
So they either work really well and they're quiet, or they're not working at all anyway. Which we'll find out once we tear the roof off by how many boards we need.
Yeah,
Because we can't put a new shingle on a non-nailable surface. We gotta change that wood.
yeah.
So, and that is the question mark. We don't know how many you're gonna need. You're obviously gonna need some, because you mentioned that it was
So
leaking
you
a
need
little
to
bit.
patch all of those holes, right?
We'll put a whole new sheet in. Oh yeah, we'll put a whole new sheet in. And if we take these vents out, that'll be covered up. That hole will be covered up. Clipped in, everything's good, and then we'll just cut the continuous ridge from one end to the other. It'll probably provide a lot more ventilation than those power
Are
vents.
you putting a ridge vent in?
Oh yeah,
So you're cutting out the ridge and then putting
about that big. Yeah, about that big, all the way down. This is a nice, easy building. It's like a giant ranch house. So it's really nice and easy. So, yeah, just from one end to the other.
What do you think about that?
I don't have a problem with it. There's really only one leak, and we did have somebody look at it. And that leak was a new leak, so, I mean, from the storm.
Yeah,
So I don't think, now I know, that there's much with the needs place.
okay,
At least on this side.
right.
On the other side is where the leaks are, but then,
No, he looked at it all.
oh yeah. But there are holes here on this side too, right here. In the upper corner here.
So we'll find out.
Yeah,
It's one of those things, unfortunately, you just don't know until you get it off. But if it needs replaced, it needs replaced.
Right.
You have to put new one up there. New OSB 716 says per code. Ice and water on all the eaves, and I use synthetic felt. I think most roofers do. Although if they look at the insurance report, I know a lot of them cheap it. They put the 15-pound felt paper on. One roll of synthetic equals 2.5 15 papers. So economically, it's not much difference. And synthetic will never go away. It'll be here long after we're gone. It's plastic, so it'll last forever.
So that's at 38,000.
Pardon me?
And that's at 38,000.
Oh, yeah, I've been putting synthetic on for like 10 years. It's not worth it to use paper. Because if there's any kind of little leak developed over the years, paper's paper. It's gonna disintegrate. And then there's nothing between you and the boards. You could take this stuff, put it in water for 20 years and it's never gonna go away, so,
Mhm.
yeah.
Do you guys have any other questions for him?
So really what we're approving is 38,200.
Yeah, I would say we approved
That'd be fair.
38,200, but then the additional costs, we just don't know what that one is.
So are we having a contract?
I would imagine we will, yes.
Is it something we can do without a contract?
I would prefer a contract.
Well, could we have a contract for the base? Like.
Well, yes, that's-
Usually what I do for homeowners, let's
Yeah.
just pretend this is a homeowner house, I would just simply write plus any additional plywood. And we'll see what happens when we tear the whole roof off. You may need 15 sheets, you may need 70. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
If we have to have a contract, we have to meet again. And it has to go through the prosecutor's office.
Well, but we have a template contract made up. So,
We can approve the contract, but we need to make it dependent upon the insurance company.
Yeah, but they won't approve it to form, vote.
Mhm.
I don't know what kind of insurance you have on the building. Most insurance companies, unfortunately, I can try, depending on who you have. Most of them do not cover plywood. They just don't. That's usually on the homeowner. Now, in a unique storm situation like that, maybe they will. But, Worthington is a good example. Worthington, you have to have 2 inspections, one before you begin and one during the process, because all of those older houses didn't have 7/16 plywood. They have 2/3. It's a lot smaller, so they want to make sure that you can't intermix the two. If you're changing it, you got to either lay over the whole roof or yank all up and then put it down. So it's weird at Worthington.
well then, yeah. Okay, so we cannot, am I understanding this correct? We cannot vote to approve and then have you execute any documents associated with it?
So,
And then you just work with John?
she won't sign off, as the form if we go first. She won't have him sign off.
Okay.
That doesn't mean we can, there's a difference between can we and are we covered?
Right, I mean, because so, okay. Could we potentially approve it and then if they don't sign off, then we could do that?
But let's have you in charge of that.
No, I have to be out. I barely could get him here today.
So when would you be here? So when do you need the contract signed before you get a schedule? Because
Yeah,
we want to do everything, it's just, if it has to be a contract, then it has to go through the prosecutor, and it just takes time, and we don't want to.
So how would we do it if there is no contract? Is it just an agreed upon price? Is it verbal then, not a written?
No, it would be a requisition and that, not like that, because what we're doing, we're committing to it. We're assuming that we're gonna get the money from the insurance company. I think what we should be in the contract is the only way we're gonna get the money, that we're gonna know we're gonna get the money from the insurance company.
I don't know how your insurance company works for a municipal building, but you should
It's
have
not
already got
municipal, we're not
it.
municipal.
Or a township, yeah.
Township. You should
It's
have
different.
had that claim possibly already, like a first disbursement. Maybe you didn't, I don't know.
We didn't get any disbursement. Can I send him the report? I'll send you the report.
Okay.
Do I have the report? Okay.
Can we get that to Tony quickly so that we could do it?
As soon as you give it to us, I'll send it to him.
Okay.
Okay, what, like the contract?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, because I'd like to get you guys on the schedule because you need it.
I know.
I know, that's, and if we get delayed, then I'm not as, because we need it.
Now, I do have a very simple question, and that is shingle color. What are you guys looking for? I think you got a grayish roof now. We could go gray, we could go black. Black's a nice neutral
Well,
color.
not black, because that's hot, but something that if we go with a gray siding, that it would go with, and not too gray.
Okay. There's a couple different shades of gray. Don't worry about that black either. Everybody always says that. You gotta remember it's freezing for half the year here.
That's true.
You know?
Yeah, but.
I just like the grayer, lighter shingle color better myself, but if, cause if we end up getting gray siding on the building, it might be too much gray on gray, so if there's like a gray with, maybe if there's like a darker gray.
Is
then we
this
can do lighter.
a 3-tab or is this a
Dimension.
dimensional? So there's some gray.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
Maybe
would-
gray with some black.
Do you have
stripes.
samples here we can look at them?
I can email you a link. I can
Yeah.
email you a link. Yeah, you
That
can
sounds
try.
good.
Now the shingle manufacturers, I go with GAF or Owens Corning, so
Whatever you have available, send me.
I like GAF. So they have a weird thing going on right now where I don't know why they didn't anticipate the need to make more shingles. But some of the colors aren't all available. What's on the ground is on the ground, as they say. But it's like the browns, the black, the charcoal black, they're still making those. There's a nice weatherwood. Weatherwood may work.
Weatherwood.
Weatherwood, it's not as brown as you think. It's a little brown gray. I'll send you the link. And you
I'm
can
inclined
kind of take a look.
towards gray, and then if it has a little black that kind of sprinkled in,
Yeah,
that would probably be good.
And are they the same warranties?
yeah,
So,
yes.
good question.
And when, I didn't hear when we would get the contract from you.
When, I have it right here. Actually, I wrote it up.
So you
Minus
did-
some, I didn't fill in some of the blanks, but I can digitize this. It'll be, and I can email it to you.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And then, you can pass it on to whoever you have to.
We'll just pass it on now. And then,
And then you pick your color.
But now, are you saying now, before 5 o'clock, or are you saying? now?
It'll be tomorrow morning. I'll run home, I'll digitize it
and then you can pass it on, or tell you to get that squared away,
and then pick a
And he
color.
knows it's a priority.
Pick a color.
and then pick a color.
Yeah.
And then you'll let us know, like, because if the color that I picked, that's not in, are you guys okay with me picking? the
I'm
color?
okay with that, are you okay with that?
Are you okay with me picking the color?
Yeah.
It will be similar to what we have out here.
Did you guys see this? This is, it's just,
Is it from ODOT?
you know,
Is this related to the storm?
I'm sure,
Is this related to the storm?
I'm sure. Hold it, that isn't what I thought it was. I thought it was from Tom.
No, that's not relevant. Okay, so you'll send contract, you'll send it on to Tony, push him to get it back ASAP.
Well, let me ask one of this, because this is kind of a thing from the history. Ron, haven't we approved it and before, and then it really is executed when the 3 of us sign it, and if 3 of us doesn't sign it, it's not executed? So that we don't have to meet again? Unless we don't sign it?
said we vote to approve it, and if it doesn't, if it's a null act, it's a null act, right?
So what makes it,
Yeah,
in the resolution, we'll make it that it's executed upon the three
mhm,
signatures, because it's the town's fault, we can't do two.
yeah,
Did you hear that?
Oh, I didn't, I was just getting rid of that.
Okay, so if we approve this, in the resolution, it'll be executed upon our three signatures. If we don't get three signatures, it's not executed, we have to start square one, because it's the township call, we have to have unanimous vote.
so he's saying we do a resolution without the contract to approve the monies and have the contract executed upon our signature. And then that would be fine, because then he sends the contract tomorrow morning, we work through whatever we need to work through with Tony, and then from there, we're able to,
So what you're saying is we approve the money for it, and we then,
say that it's,
we designate one of us to
No.
execute the contract.
No, it's executed when all three of us sign.
well, we designate you to work with the prosecutor to get the contract, but the contract is not executed until we all three sign. So we would have to come in to probably tomorrow, late tomorrow or early Wednesday, and we'd have to sign it. But for all intents and purposes, we're moving forward with this. I'm sorry, we're just talking the logistics of it. We have to have the three of us.
And if one of us objects to it, all it takes is one of us to not sign it, then we have to have another meeting. But it'll keep us from having to call another meeting, 24-hour delay and all of that, if we're all in agreement, just sign it. You know, if Tony puts something weird in it, then, you know.
Mhm. But what we're agreeing to is a contract that we'll give him to Tony to say, make it.
That's
right.
approved to form.
Yeah, and the only thing we're asking him to do is change the form on
To approve the form. It'll be like the other contract, just with the numbers filled in. You'll send us the numbers.
And then will it be okay to have that additional expenses as identified in that
To
contract?
me, that's a separate issue. We have authority to, that's low enough. I mean, we're talking about insulation and we're talking, you're gonna put the 200 in the, or under 200, I heard 100 to 150, but, for that.
Correct.
But the insulation to me is a separate issue. It's not the roof, it's something else. And how much would that be approximately?
Well, insulation, whatever the roll cost and a little bit of labor, the boards are about 55, 60 a board to install by. So that times whatever you're gonna need.
Okay, you're doing, I want a number, approximately.
I can't give, I don't know how many boards you
He
need.
can't.
If you need
how
10
many
boards, that's
costs? So
$550.
it's about
I'm saying insulation.
I don't know that
He
either.
he hasn't seen it yet. Oh, I meant to say, you would recommend replacing insulation that's wet, right?
If it was wet and it looks bad, I would change it.
So
Insulation
that's-
doesn't cost that much.
Yeah,
You know?
Okay, give me a number. Not much is ephemeral.
like, well,
$500.
Okay, so see, that's a number. That's not, I mean, we don't have to have that in the contract.
yeah,
That's just something we can do separately.
I would think your insulation won't be too bad. It's more the boards.
It might be
The shape
not,
they're in.
if it's in the contract, it might be covered by insurance and maybe it won't be if we don't. That's the thing to think about.
If you send me the report, it may already be covered.
yeah,
Yeah,
I will
we
send
already
you the report,
covered.
let me send you the report right now.
Yeah. I look at those reports all day
it. Can you
long.
put a not to exceed number in the contract?
Pardon?
Yeah, can you put a not to exceed number in the contract?
Sure, with those variables. you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
Variable of boards and
You got the
insulation.
contract and then a not to exceed number for, and if you have to exceed it, doesn't mean you can't do it, but we gotta come back.
Right.
We-
And I hate sounding, I always hate sounding like that car mechanic, but honestly, I don't know. You may need 10 boards, you may need 50 boards. I don't know until we get it off and see it. And there's really no way to, really good way to tell from even if I call around or at it, because it's the top part I have to worry about.
Yeah,
Because
right,
that's where we're nailing it,
right.
putting them down all the new felt and everything, so.
So I don't really like the not to exceed that's huge, because then we're talking about getting into other areas
Why
that.
don't we have it not exceed the insurance claim amount?
That still takes us over 75,000.
No, I mean, wasn't it just,
The total.
yeah, but I mean, just for that one portion, it was 53, right?
I like saying it's 38,000 plus 200 plus.
Well, the not to exceed number would just be for the soffit fixed.
Yes,
If the rest of it's all fixed. Because we know what the roof is, we know what all that sort of costs are. We got that.
We don't know board costs.
Hmm?
We don't know the board costs. The
if
cost of
it's
replacement.
rotten boards,
If there's rotten boards,
that's a different issue.
Mhm.
But I don't really want, I mean, in the contract, it says that that's gonna be extra, but I don't really want to limit it to the maximum total, which would be ridiculously high, and then we have to bid it out.
and does the insurance cover rotten boards?
He said that sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Maybe.
I'd have to see
He
it,
has to
see
see
what,
the report.
who's your insurer for the property? Like,
Otama,
State Farm.
It's not a ton.
Millions of Otama car insurance. Well, who do we work with?
It starts with an O, though. Do you recall?
OPEC?
Yes. Oh,
OPEC,
I think that,
OPEC?
They might cover it, and believe me, the day of the bill, I get hundreds of pictures. If they want to see the rotted wood, they'll see rotted wood. And some of the insurance companies are kind of generous, they will say, because there's a little
Who's
caveat,
that?
I
Who
can
did we get
say,
the quote from? Who did we get the report from again? And can you send John the report right now? We'll just, get it squared away right now.
yeah, let me give you my email.
This was a touch before my time.
The insurance quote wasn't before your time, was it?
It's right here, it's a long.
it was something like April 22nd,
March 22nd?
March 22nd, something like
Okay.
There
that.
is.
Yeah, I don't know the future yet.
Looking in the insurance folder.
It was originally sent to Jesse Peden, and the email came from Jesse Peden.
Road department.
Yeah, both come from road department.
Discuss, it's not, attachments, that's not.
And you have to do the original, because the second one that's back and forth does not include the attachment.
You can type in insurance and then has attachment in the search and see if something comes up for that.
I think it'd be. Where is the insurance claim report, question mark?
Are you texting Claudia?
Yes. See where she put it. I'm surprised it's not in a folder here that says insurance.
Also, the other thing with the contract is technically doesn't, Claudia, or the clerk sign the contract for the money?
That's a separate item, the certificate of available funds.
Well, somewhere else.
If you go to the search and the email and you type in insurance and then you do space and say has attachment, you'll get it to come up.
It wouldn't be a problem working on the weekends, would it?
No,
Okay,
it'd
perfect.
be optimal.
Well, it's nice weather too.
Yeah.
We're gonna get washed out Wednesday. So it's gonna rain all day.
Do I hear the roads crew? He could probably pull it up if he's back there.
I can pull that. Jesse just said he just resent it to you.
Oh, it's not in. Public Entity Risk Services of Ohio.
Public Entity Risk Services of Ohio. Scroll through, please get that one. Yes, that's it.
It's an unusual name. I don't really recall having dealt with them before.
So we haven't had something like this prior.
So I don't know if it goes through a tournament to this company or
I
how it
think it
works.
does.
Maybe it's a reinsurer.
All right, so that gets you what you need there. I'll send the contract first thing in the morning.
Yep.
And
You
you can email it to me, but you can also, because you actually email it to trustees at berlintwp. That way I'm not a potential single point of not moving it on.
So
Because I need to have it so I can get to the
Yeah.
hospital.
Yes.
it's trustees at,
Well, but he could replace the roof this weekend. But we gotta get it done as soon as possible.
I understand.
So,
We're gonna need-
trustees
Yep.
at Berlin,
We're gonna-
TWP.
And theoretically, we
It's
could do
usually
that
gonna
on,
be,
theoretically, we could do that on by Thursday, and we could start on Friday and Saturday. It's good weather.
And that way it goes to all four of us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, and the clerk, who
All right, I'm sending a copy of this report to John at peakroofingsighting.com.
So big URL.
That's all right.
I'm lucky I got the word peak in that. Peak, everything's taken.
Oh,
Even
yes.
by people who don't use it.
Yeah.
They take URLs, they start LLCs.
Yeah, and then you have
Don't
to
do
buy
anything
them.
with it.
Yeah.
I'm getting an email from clerk at berlintownship.us, and it's gonna be, subject's gonna be Berlin Township Hall.
All right,
You've got mail.
there we go.
And
Okay,
the only other question I have is you'll have drip edge on the rakes. You have it now, it's white. You have white aluminum cap fascia. I assume you want to keep it white
Yes.
regardless of the color.
Yes.
Because code requires drip edge,
yes.
ice and water shield. And then I use gutter apron instead of drip edge. It's half inch longer and it's shaped different. So that will ensure rain coming off the roof goes right from the gutter, not behind it.
Mhm.
So.
That's fine,
And
that's
that
great.
cost is nominal too. I just learned over the years, it's better to do that than have a problem.
Yeah.
So are we talking nominal over 38,000?
No, that's
It's all
part of it.
included in.
Yeah, that's part of it.
Let me see if I got you.
Gutters are okay.
There it is. Jeff?
Yeah,
Yep, okay. I'll take a look at that and then I'll digitize, well, this is simple to digitize. I can't do it on my phone. I'll just send it over
Okay.
with the aluminum wrapped fascia and then the a la carte items of insulation and
Yeah.
boards, which again, unfortunately, I just don't.
no,
know
I get it,
that.
but is there, so did we decide if we want a not to exceed amount on that? No? 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 Do we want a not to exceed amount on the extra items, or no, we're good? Do you know?
That'd be tough to do with the extra. items.
Yeah.
What if you need 50
The
sheets
reason
of
I
plywood?
was looking for the not to exceed is we've appropriated the money and we've taken care of it. If we don't do that, we've taken care of the contract, but then we're gonna have another
Mhm.
session to get the, whatever that costs.
Well, and here's the thing is that, he can't, I mean, I'm not going against what I'm wanting to do, but he can't certify an unknown number.
Yeah,
Right.
right. So I think, so, and we are gonna do a motion,
But that's what you know.
Yeah, yeah. and so in that, bringing forward that motion, do you want to add then a do not to exceed number, so we do that?
That's really a question for him, as to what he will certify. But I think it's.
Got a question for you, Joe?
Mhm.
Do you want a not to exceed number for the incidentals, the patches in the roof, that the soffit, that sort of thing, to go with it, or do we do that as a separate motion sometime later when we know what the cost is gonna be?
Well, we can't do it, I mean, you can't tear up the roof and then not have the approval to fix the boards that are broken.
That'd be a problem, because then all of a sudden we've got no roof.
So I think we have to do a not to exceed number at this point. Yeah,
If I may, it looks like this is a standard insurance report, so the net claim, somebody got $60,030.97. That's already been released to somebody. Yeah, that's the net claim, that's the way it's
Somebody
written.
define somebody.
I don't know who, the township?
Did you receive a check from them?
I did not.
Yeah, because the way this is broken down is much like a normal, and then your deductible's 2,500, so this number here, which is the net claim,
Mhm.
that is usually on homeowner policies what they give you first. They give that to you, like, let's say this was your house, you'd get that check. The remainder, which is,
But we can't do that, because we're doing the roof for us then, because, and we can't take more money than.
right, yeah.
yeah,
No, he's not saying that for any purposes of what he would be doing, but
Yeah.
you're saying somebody
somebody should have gotten that.
should have probably been addressed
And
to.
then just
Claudia.
let me know, like with insurance and stuff. I'll look through this when I get home. So like irrecoverable depreciation, which that is the amount that they hold back.
Mhm.
So they want to see that it's done and then they release the funds. I don't know if they'll do that if you're bidding less than what they're willing to pay. Well, what I want to know with insurance is, again, let me just say, let's pretend it's your house. If it was your house and this was the claim, and you're doing it for 38 instead of, say, 50, they may not release the rest of that cover.
Well,
Because you got it bid.
Yes, yeah.
We anticipate that. They're not gonna give us more than.
Okay,
Right, but that also, did that not include everything that we needed?
Okay. It was 75,000 something, which put it over 75,000.
Yes.
And then they reduced, for some reason, they said, well, we're not gonna pay this. And then they netted out some of the deductible.
Mhm.
So, but what I tend to think is they over gave us on the roof, assuming there's no board problems.
Yeah.
And they shorted us by far on the side.
Mm-hmm,
I can take a look at that for you too.
mm-hmm.
That's easy enough. Yeah, because this isn't exact.
No. Because if you do that, then we're gonna have to bid it out, so no.
Well, I mean, I can see if they shorted,
Okay,
depending on what they paid for.
okay, that's fine, but we
That'd
will
be
have,
helpful.
but we will have two different.
We have to, and, well, not we have to, but it's ideal anyway, because we have to do the roof situation now.
Yeah.
The siding, we can kind of wait on for a little bit.
Looks like they paid for some paint. There's all kinds of stuff in here. I don't
Okay.
scroll
Yeah,
through
I know.
these. These are only.
I hate looking at my phone too.
Yeah.
I always kind of feather on that. So, okay, so we'll have a resolution this evening. I'll send a contract to all of us. You'll work with Tony to get everything buttoned up, squared away. We may or may not need to meet again. So we probably should just anticipate meeting on Wednesday.
We have something else that we need to address, and I don't know, did you get the email from ODOT? So there's another issue we can't talk about now because it wasn't noticed, but they want an answer by Friday, and so we don't have a meeting before Friday, so if we want to deal with that issue, we need to have another special meeting.
Okay.
If you don't want to address it, we don't have to address it. But they're requesting a roof supply by Friday, from us and Berkshire.
Well, I certainly would like to get them an answer for our meeting anyway, so we can do that.
So I already did this, Hubbard, so here's an example too, so like, there's your property, let's say you want pewter gray.
Oh,
Do you see how the roof just changed?
yes.
I can send you that link, and that way you can see, you can change the color.
Oh, fun.
Isn't that cool?
That's very
Yeah.
fun.
That will give you a better idea than me just saying, hey, here's a gray shingle, you know?
Since I'm gonna be the final decision maker, can you guys click on those two, pewter, gray, and slate, and see if you like one more than the
All
other?
you gotta do is click that and it changes the whole roof.
So the color is for the roof, not for the siding?
Correct.
Yeah, siding can be chosen, but that's a different, you go and you change that, yeah.
Between.
Pewter, gray, and slate.
I think pewter gray is a little darker,
Mhm.
so that might suit yeah, I think.
I kinda like it, especially if we were to go with gray siding.
I can send you that link too and give you instructions, you can play with it all you want, so.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah,
good,
I can play with it, but these guys won't be able to give me an
I'll
answer.
call those, I would probably prefer the pewter gray.
I need to make sure those shingles are
Yeah,
on the ground
check
too,
it.
because again, I don't
Either
understand why they
gray
do stuff
or
like
slate.
that. They know storm season is here, they stop production.
And we don't want two colors.
Oh, God, no, no.
And then he said weatherwood too, might look nice.
I know weathered wood and charcoal are on the ground. They have tons of those.
What about weatherwood?
Which one shows the mold less?
Well, the newer shingles now have a 10-year mold warranty. They put copper in them. And I use the better shingles, so like cheap shingles, like IKO, they have limestone in it. Limestone attracts mold, and they're cheaper because of that. They have a filler. The better shingles have less of that, and they put copper in it to resist the mold, so.
I'm not opposed to it.
Any color would be fine.
Weathered wood, do you like more weathered wood that's like more of a brown, or pewter gray, do you like more?
Weathered wood.
Do you like weathered wood?
What does it look like? Let me see.
I'm not opposed.
All right,
Is that weathered wood?
yeah, this is weathered
Yeah,
wood.
it's kind of like a dark brown.
Yeah,
Depending on your siding choice, you just don't want it to clash.
yeah, but like a gray would look okay with that brown.
Gray and black goes with everything. That's why I like using gray and black.
No, I mean for the siding, if you went siding on the weather, with the weathered wood,
Well,
would that look a little bit odd?
let me see.
Because brown usually looks good with white.
You have weathered wood on there right now. Let me go over here to the siding.
We have weathered wood on there?
That's weathered wood on there.
Oh, on that.
Yeah, let me go to the horizontal siding. I don't know who you're getting to do that. I'm just gonna pick a brand.
Yeah.
Whatever you do, don't get James Hardy.
It'll probably be great.
Get normal siding.
Gray roof and restoration.
Okay, so let me pick just
I have a good.
index, clapboard. All right, so you think you're gonna go with a gray?
Yeah,
Like how gray? Like with that silver, if I put silver on that right now? is
try
gray?
that, yeah, that'd be good.
There you go. It just turned to silver.
It doesn't look
So that would be
bad.
silver and brown. Or I can try and find a gray.
It
It's
would
not my
have-
preference, but you know what kind of goes with it? White.
Green, cactus, no.
Don't do that.
I'm not saying I want that, I'm saying it goes.
The beige, so beige and brown
Yeah,
usually
beige-
go
beige
together
goes.
really well. Yeah, the beige and brown, if we went with the beige siding,
But it
brown
kind
would look
of,
nice.
the other thing is it kind of depends on if you look beige. If it's really beige or if it's.
I agree, then we could probably debate that at the right time.
Do you know, did they pay for the whole siding or because it's
No,
white,
they
did
did
they
not.
just piecemeal it? You might want to go white.
Well, and siding, I'm wanting to fight on the numbers. I don't like the numbers were very decided.
Okay.
So the brown looks, the weathered wood looks really good with the white and okay with the silver.
You can change that too, there might be, let me take a look at that, if you change that siding. So,
I mean, the gray was just something that I kind of like, I'm not related to that.
Yeah. Well, and if they don't pay for it, if this damage isn't for everything, we might as well go.
it might be tough on that with them because white is white. That's what I've been told by insurance companies for the last
But
7 years.
But here's the thing is that if the pattern or whatever doesn't match,
Right.
and it may be difficult to match something that was put on in 1972.
True. So, I'm trying to see if they have,
If we received a $60,000 check from the insurance company, we did not deposit it in the account.
So do you, because Claudia did follow the insurance company, do you want to just see what the status is?
Yeah, could you email the company and ask them if a check had been sent to?
And I'm not asking you to request it, I'm just asking you for a status report. Because I'm not sure I really do want them to send it yet, because
It's okay,
but that's me. Black and gray goes with everything.
black and gray.
Yeah. They say that for a reason, black goes with everything, so, clothing.
But I think, I think we like the gray or the brown roof, I like the weathered wood. Didn't you recommend weathered wood?
Weatherwood is what's on the ground, so if we can pull this together quickly, that is definitely I can get, because you need 86 squares.
Mhm.
And there's
That's
3
not a lot,
bundles
yeah.
to a square, that's a lot of shingles. So, I do deal with ABC, which is the largest supply house in the country, but, you know, again, I don't know why they've slowed down production in the summer when all the storms are, I
Yeah,
don't get it.
okay.
I think we should go with weathered wood.
I think you're in charge of that, so if it doesn't match, we'll come to you.
Well, if it doesn't match, we'll make it match with the siding. But
Yeah.
it will look good with white siding, and then when it comes.
Well,
time
that's
to
the thing,
discuss
if
siding-
something doesn't work with it, it'll be white.
It'll be good.
And if we can't do the entire building, it's white anyway, so we don't see-
Yeah.
Thank you for that, and then I'll play around with it a little bit.
Yeah, I'll send you that link with the instructions.
Great, and do you happen to know what the color is on there right
I
now?
don't know, it looks kind of gray.
Yeah, it
to
looks
me.
very gray.
Yeah,
I didn't know if you had a sense of,
So is our roof all right for Wednesday,
all right, for Wednesday?
when it rains again?
I don't know. We had the new tarp put on, and I don't think we have had the rain since it's been on. But I
Well,
can tell you it's compiling right here, it's coming off again right there.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about.
We have to get this addressed as soon as humanly possible.
I totally agree.
And so to get on your schedule, we gotta have that contract executed, but right now you can kind of squeeze this in.
Yeah,
Okay, so,
definitely, I just need to know by the latest Wednesday,
Okay.
because I'm getting rained out Wednesday no matter what, unless this weather changes dramatically. And I've already allocated days for you.
So
So-
Wednesday's not a problem, if you get that to me by 8 o'clock in the morning.
Okay,
is that cool? Wonderful.
okay.
And then you can do what you need to do, and then we can have a special meeting on Wednesday to address this. Do you have time on Wednesday to meet?
This Wednesday afternoon?
Could we not just keep this meeting open and do that?
I tried to, no.
No? Okay.
Our current assistant prosecutor strongly discourages that.
Okay,
I think it's perfectly okay, but I'm not the prosecutor.
okay,
Okay.
noted. So we'll plan on meeting, I can meet at 4:15 on Wednesday.
It'd be nice to get before close of business, and it would be nice to just come in and deal with that, get that, so that he knows, and then address ODOT after that.
Mhm.
Okay, so, yeah,
Do you guys know, did the adjuster actually go up? in the
No,
attic?
I do know,
Do you know?
I do know.
It was
And the
a
answer is no. I
Okay.
think it was a very, cursory, review. They
Yeah.
couldn't get him on the roof. He refused to go.
That's an easy roof too, that's, lot of neck breakers right over there even, so. Because they're paying for some blown-in insulation, but not much at all. I mean, very minimal.
He refused to go look up and it was leaking, and he said he only saw a leak over there, but it's because the leak was coming down from the light. So it was leaking off of the light, so you
Yeah.
could see it in the top, on the ceiling.
So over here, it was where one of those vents was. Here, it was actually the roof.
Yeah, right. So,
I was just wondering, because if he actually went up there, that's hardly any insulation, that won't be much of anything. What he put in the scope of work, so, but if he didn't go up, then he's just guessing. He's guessing by looking at the ceiling, going, oh, okay.
Yeah, that's exactly
Yeah.
what he did. That's exactly what he did. So, okay, so do we need were you gonna bring forward a motion?
No, but I was gonna vote
One of the thing is, the soffit that's over here supposedly is hanging.
He's fixing that.
I can fix that.
But in the meantime, Jesse was asking me if we should take it down and then let them fix it whenever we get to
on.
it.
Is it banging on things?
It's one of those safety issues.
Yes,
It's up to you guys, if you want to take it
Alright,
off,
I'll
because
take-
that's
Yeah,
solid
have him take it
soffit,
down.
as opposed to vented where you have everywhere else, that's easy. I'll just
Okay.
have that come with the rest of the materials.
It'll come down in the morning.
Yeah, have him take it
Okay.
down. All right, do you want to bring forward the motion then?
I'm ready.
Bring it forward when you like.
I mean, go ahead, once you go ahead.
Okay, can we just work on it as
A collective,
a collective, yes. So
Right.
add to it. Well, let's talk through and then we will actually move to approve appropriation of $38,250 for the purpose of repairing the roof. Authorizing the Board of Trustees to execute a contract with Peak
Roofing inside.
Roofing and Siding after it has been approved as to form by the prosecutor's office.
And not to exceed.
And not to exceed $50,000.
That's okay.
The roof total is 52,642.86, just.
Friendly amendment for that to go up to that.
52,000.
52,642.86.
640. That amount.
52,646.
52,642.
642, was there cents?
46.
46,
Oh, I'm sorry, 86 cents.
52642.86.
That is it.
Anything else on
Um,
it? You don't need to put the address of where the roof we're fixing.
No, but it is for the township hall, that should be included.
So you need to add that phrase in for the township hall roof repair. Second.
Okay, discussion. Now, one thing that you're gonna have to do is, there will be a form that says there's more than 5 employees. And that you pay, I think it's workman's comp.
They have a workman's comp, yeah.
There's 2 forms that needs to be signed. If you could execute that before we execute it, that might be beneficial.
Yeah, if somebody just wants to email it to me.
I hope.
There's the workman's comp and then there's the, no outstanding.
Oh, yes, no findings for recovery.
Pardon me?
No findings for recovery from the state of Ohio,
That I owe.
that PICO's.
Oh, no, yeah.
Well, you'll have to sign off on that.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. Yeah, and I'm insured, my crew's insured. There's a lot of redundancy.
Yeah, that's in the contract that we'll want. The other is state of Ohio requirements that is not gonna get through the prosecutor's office that we.
So can you send him that tonight, so
Yes.
that he has that?
What I can send is what was for the other company, and you can kind of, there's,
Just go from there.
there's exhibits on there, and you can look at that.
Okay.
Is that a form on the website, or is that a form we get copies of, or?
He's gonna email it
That
to
I
me.
have, and so Jeff, do you have his email again?
You know, it's funny, he's only paid for 4 of those power vents. You have more than 4 power vents, I think you have 8.
He
So,
never
like-
went up there, he wouldn't, yeah, I mean, it was Swift. Swift, cursory, and seemingly unobservant.
And-
Work.
And those power vents are good for what they're worth. I've taken them off many houses that they're older technology. As long as you have soffit vents
Mhm.
to bring the air in, a continuous ridge is gonna do more than 4 to 8 of those vents.
Mhm.
Because it's the entire ridge of the.
Right,
roof.
right.
So,
I don't have any more discussion.
Did we vote?
Time to adjourn then.
No, we have to vote. That was discussion for the motion.
Call the roll when you get a chance.
Rail,
Yes.
Fuller,
Yes.
O'Brien.
Yes. Move to adjourn.
Second.
Would you like me to read that back? That's consent? The resolution?
We just moved to adjourn.
Okay.
Call the roll, please.
Rail,
Yes.
Fuller,
Yes.
O'Brien.
Yes.
So Jeff, you can go back and if it's still not clear in the minutes, then,
Okay.
maybe since trustee O'Brien sent it forward, he can correct anything.
Okay, and when did we want to have our special meeting?
Are we still?
Wednesday?
All right.